So this goes into the next thing we were trying to talk about, right?
On the opposite side, how you got so much money.
No, not even that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. On the opposite side, you got so much money. Yeah, you are right about that. But like, okay, so this past couple, maybe like a week or two ago, saw Nick Cannon was in the news about he's had I think in a span of a month or maybe like 2 or 3 months he had like 4 kids, all from different women, right? And so the story
Two twins, so 3 different women,
three,
4 kids.
okay, so yeah, 4 kids, 3 different women. All it was all within a month, right?
Something like that. I'm not sure
Yeah.
about the timeline, but I know it wasn't far apart.
Right. So we so that's the news, right? And he already has like I don't know how many baby moms, but it's probably like 4 or 5. He has I think like 7 kids, whatever it may be. So
Yeah, I want to say 7 kids over 4 baby moms.
so okay.
Got 2 sets of twins.
So he is on the opposite side of this conversation in a sense, because he has so much money, right, in comparison to the normie, I guess, and he has the resources that it's like, all right, I'm just gonna have kids. Now let's add in too. We don't want to miss out on the fact that he has some type of illness, right, that he can actually die.
Basically die at any time.
Yeah, at any time, right? He's been told that by his doctors and whatnot. So on the outside looking in, and he's talked about it on some radio shows of like kind of just living his life, and for the most part, it seems like this part of it is living his life of like meeting people, having a connection, and planting your seed and moving on, right? And just living that life and spreading yourself as much. Like the world's not going to have you that much longer, and it seems like he's saying, "I'm gonna leave as much of me as I can to the world." So that's the story, right? What do you think about that? What do you think about the idea of him doing that?
It does not make sense to me. And I say that because for me, being a father, as a father, I want to be around my child as much as possible, bro. Like I hate when I have to wake up in the morning and go to work because I want to be here just hanging out with my child, getting to know her, trying to teach her. You get what I'm saying? Right. So like with that, I get, you may die at any time, but I don't feel like that's a reason for you to bring kids in the world that you possibly won't even be able to, take care of. And when I say take care of, I don't mean money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, from what I've been told, children don't remember all them gifts and stuff. They remember when you're there. Right. You know what I'm saying? And my question to him is how often is he going to be able to be there for all 7 of those children that are in 5 different households? Right.
We don't know.
That's my question.
We don't know what his time looks like, right? But I think it's safe to say the man don't got a lot of time. He's on all these wilding out. He's on that one show hosting the talent shows or whatever, and then all his other business ventures.
Masked Singer.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
Masked Singer.
Masked Singer. Yeah.
He's a celebrity. He don't got a lot of time. So there's that. So now I add on to the story. So the whole conversation of this came up on another podcast, another podcast that I listened to with Brilliant Idiots with Charlemagne and a couple other people on there talking about it. And when I was listening to it, one of the opinions, or at least one of the stances that a couple of the dudes had was like, they looked at the whole thing and basically saw it as like, yo, that's what's up. That's admirable. That's quote, like, I'm paraphrasing. They didn't use the word admirable, but that basically they were looking at it as a very,
basically they did. Bro.
It's like
they were basically saying, like, I wish I could do that.
For the most part, you feel me, without really truly saying it, bro. And I think that shit trash, bro. That shit trash. It's trash as fuck. Because I'll say this, coming from like my upbringing, I didn't have my father in the house as much as I would have liked to grow up with and whatnot. Not here nor there, love my pops, cool. But I know that today as an adult, that still affects me. Like, in the way that even now, as I treat my own son and how I am, like, I think I'm much more on the other side of like, oh yeah, I'm here for you, my boy. Like, you ain't never gonna have to think about like, oh dang, like, you know, where's pops at, or I need my pops. Like, you know, it's like you kind of revert to the extreme sometimes. So like, I look at it and they were saying, looking at it as admirable, and one of the supporting, I guess, stances they had for the whole thing was like, oh, he got the money to do it. And bruh, when I say I got fire hot, I got so fire hot hearing that shit, bro. Because like the idea that because you got a lot of money, you can go ahead and just plant seeds all over the world.
Yeah, it may seem like it, bro, but money don't raise kids.
It don't, bro. Money can only go so far. And what that told me, bro, from hearing that stance was like, y'all, you value money way more than you should, which that's common for people. But like, I mean, this is even more to an extreme for you to believe that because you have a lot of money, that's enough to substitute having a true relationship with your children and being there and being present. And that,
yeah, I don't think decisions should be solely based off of money, especially when you have a lot of it. I feel like it's more so then, like, especially when you got a lot of money, you shouldn't make your money based off decisions, because most time it's gonna be based off of material,
right?
So
it's trash, bro.
Yeah, no,
it's trash.
It's crazy, man. Like, yeah, I try to anytime I hear a situation or anything, I always try to put myself in both shoes.
You know
what I'm saying?
You got to.
But a lot of people don't do that. That's another story. But with that being said, like, I just can't see myself just I can't find any justification for me spreading seeds like that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't find any justification, because like, is it selfish? Like, I'm trying to, like, I've been trying to figure out the reason, like, you know what I'm saying? And I can't think of anything but just selfishness.
Look, I'll say this, bro.
Because even if you want to live your life, you can live your life protected.
There are situations, there are situations I believe that, boom, you have kids for different women. That happens. Like, you're married to whoever, you're with whoever for however long. Yeah. Didn't work out with that person, then you met somebody else, cool. But like, for people who are just kind of like, all right, well, I'm gonna get this one pregnant, get that one pregnant, get that one pregnant. Yeah, you're nuts.
I don't think he's not in a relationship, right?
No. This is, to me, bro. To me, I believe this is a situation where the women are like, they're complicit in the actions of like, okay, cool. Well, like, you're rich, I have your baby, you're basically gonna be taking care of me. That's basically what I think that is, right? Because, yeah, a lot of people. To me, the way that he's moving, bro, it reminds me of like back in the day. You remember how you had kings who would have multiple wives and have, what if they had the money to do it? But like, even think about it like this, bro. And I will always say this: broken people make broken people. So think about the thought of like back then, where kings were having kids with whoever, spread thin. They weren't spending that time with the children or whatever. And then what do you end up seeing with most of those? I don't know if they're called monarchies or kingdoms or whatever you want to call them. The children fighting for the throne, killing each other, right? Mothers being killed. Like, it wasn't peaceful times. And then you had those children who grew up to be adults who were still trying to fight for approval from the parent. Bro, it to me, bro, those situations only breed more bullshit. And it's kind of wild to hear, like, on that podcast and hear the dudes were talking about, because those two specific individuals, in this case, were both individuals who, on their other episodes, this is Charlemagne and Wax on Brilliant Idiots. I ain't no reason to fucking hide the names, but like, they have talked about themselves and their upbringings and how their relationship with their father has fucked them up in so many ways. So then, when I was thinking about that, I was just thinking like, okay, so you dealt with the trauma of that, and you're willing to deal with the same trauma of giving it to your own children, right? And I'm just saying, like, bro, like, it just made me think about broken people not always, but broken people tend to make more broken people, bro. And it's sad to me. It's sad. Like, it's crazy sad. And that goes into other shit. It's not just having kids just willy nilly and not raising them and being there for them, and then the kids possibly repeating the whole cycle. It goes into relationships too. How many times we done seen like someone who's had their heart broken at like 15, a man or a woman, go on to like just be a straight savage. Yeah. savage, bro. You feel me?
For sure. Yeah, it's crazy because I feel you on that, for sure. And more like this is like kind of on the other end, but more times than not that happens. But there are some cases to where you have a broken person. You have a broken person, and because they were broken, the offspring, they see that brokenness and they don't want any parts of it.
Right.
But I feel like it might be like 75-25. Like more times than not, they're going to take the characteristics of, who raised them, whether they kind of want to or not, because that's kind of just programming almost. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
no, I feel you. Broken people make broken people. Fucked up parents
that
make
most
fucked
times.
Up raise fucked up kids. Hater people raise hater kids. Like it's those.
Yeah, and yeah.
It's so important, bro. And I guess this goes back fundamentally, that a lot of people get into relationships or get married or whatever it may be, and not truly have their own individual foundation intact on understanding who they are as a person and who they want to be as far as a person in a relationship, bro. Right?
That's very important.
Yeah, bro.
Very important, bro. Very important, bro. Like, I think that might be the most important thing. Like, a lot of times we end up getting into relationships with other people and we're trying to learn other people, but we don't even really know ourselves. So I feel like that is it should be a priority for us. Like, before we get into any type of relationship, we have to make sure that we know ourselves. We have to make sure that we know what we want, that we know what we want, that we know what we're looking for. So that way we are we're not wasting our own time and putting ourselves through situations that we don't need to be, but we're also not doing that for other people. So it's very important. Like, we have to figure out who we are and where we are trying to go and what we want to do and how we want to live. So that way, when we get into any type of relationship, friendship, whereas friendship, where you're trying to court them, anything like that, to where you know yourself, you know what you're looking for, so that way it's only beneficial to the people who are a part of it.